Booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I'm so glad you're here on this Saturday. Oh, it's so great. It's the weekend. I'd love to hear about what you're reading right now, or if you finished something lately that was great or fantastic, or something that you hated and you want to rant about. Feel free to do so in the comments section down below. I love hearing from you, and if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, I hope you'll feel confident enough to leave like an emoji, or you can give this video a thumbs up, and that just kind of lets me know that you're here. So thank you so much. So I have been reading. I've been doing my Victober reading. I'm doing a buddy read with Jordan Parsons. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but I just wanted to give you guys a little life update because I have been a very distracted reader, and I will be frankly honest, I have not been the kindest person in my real life. Yeah, so that is something that I have been trying to think about. I've been trying to be mindful of, like, when other people respond to me in a way that I feel like is unkind, or there's no response, and so I'm left wondering what's going on. Like, I try to think about, like, what might be going on in that person's life that I don't know, like, I don't know about, and maybe that's why I don't hear from them, or they've stopped commenting. There's just all kinds of things going on in our lives, and we just don't always know what's happening. For myself, the past couple of weeks have been really stressful, and again, I will be straight up with you guys. I've been pretty awful to some people. My parents they both got COVID. Fortunately, they were vaccinated and had a booster shot, and they still got it, but it was like, my dad got an infusion, I think probably the day after they confirmed his test results, and he really hardly felt sick at all. My mother got an antiviral medication. She wasn't eligible for the infusion because she doesn't have the underlying health issues that my dad does. But you know, she's hoping, my dad tested negative on Friday, and my mother is going to test on Sunday to see if she is negative. So hopefully that will be the case. So I've been very lucky that both of them have been pretty well throughout it. You know, there was some coughing and just general fatigue, you know, more fatigue than they normally feel. My parents are getting up there. I'm not going to say an age because for a lot of reasons, but anyway, so that has definitely just you know, because you can't do anything. I mean, I couldn't go and see them. I couldn't help them really in any way at all. I sent them a Halloween card to try to lift their spirits, and I called a lot, and yeah, tried to call before it was nap time, that sort of thing. So yeah, so that has been definitely not leading me to pick up my big chunky Victorian novels. And then the other thing that has happened, and I don't want to go into details with you guys, but this, for the first time in my life, I had a biopsy. We're not going to talk about it any more than that, but and I don't by any means want to say that is the most painful thing ever to happen in my life or in anyone's life. You know, I recovered pretty quickly from it, but it was very uncomfortable, and I was very unkind to the people who did that, who did that biopsy. I was not my best self, and I feel bad about it. At the same time, though, I also sometimes wish that medical professionals just wouldn't necessarily always jump to the worst case scenario. It's the first time in my life that someone has talked to me about, looking for precancerous tissue, which is really alarming and really scary. And then to find out like, oh, it's nothing, which is great. Don't get me wrong, I am extremely thankful for that. But yeah, it was waiting for the test results was stressful. And it was just, it was just hard to focus on anything, including something like great expectations. So this is my first Victober book. I just finished volume 1 last night. Again, I still don't know if I've read this before or not. I've seen 2 film adaptations, not recently. I usually go into them blind, and so it's very interesting for me to read this knowing at least some of the outcomes at the end. I won't say that I know all of them. And I had never thought of it as a spoiler kind of book, but yeah, like some things definitely were spoiled for me. I've realized now, because of the way the novel is kind of structured and set up and makes you believe certain things. So it's really interesting. But this book feels different to me from a lot of other Dickens, and I don't know if it's because it's in the first person, like David Copperfield, but it doesn't even feel like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. If you have any thoughts about that, I'd be curious. Because this book feels different from a lot of other Dickens. It's still great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'm looking forward to talking to Jordan about it more. And I will keep you posted on my progress. So hopefully now that my parents are doing better and I don't have this like medical results hanging over my head. I mean, honestly, you guys, like I was like researching surgeries and all that kind of stuff. It was nuts. I'm so thankful that everything was fine. Anyway, and this book, I fully expect this book to be 5 stars. Of course, I feel that way about most Dickens. Although some are definitely on a higher level. Those of you who are reading the Pickwick Papers, I'm so excited. I think it's a flawed book in some ways, but I love that book so much. It has so much heart. It's so funny. And then earlier this year, I read Dombey and Son, which I know at least one of you is reading. And God, I loved that book. That is a really underappreciated Dickens novel. So now, as to the other prompts for Victober, so yesterday I was like, oh, maybe I'll read a ghost story this weekend, which I still might, because I do have, I picked this up at my parents' house the last time I was there. This is supposed to be the best ghost stories of Joseph Sheridan LeFanu, and this is a Dover edition from, I think it was published in 1964. I was looking at the table of contents and Carmilla is in here, which is a vampire story. So I don't think best ghost stories is really the best maybe title for this book. I was just going to show you how many stories there are in it if I can just get to the table of contents. Here we go. So there's really not that many stories in here, but the type font, it's pretty intense. So we'll see. Maybe this is something I'll start and then pick it up again next October. I don't know. That seems weird. That's not kind of the thing I would normally do with a book. I don't foresee myself finishing this, because I also want to read Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope this month, which is over 500 pages. And I was also hoping to read some poetry. We have the collected poems of Tennyson, Alfred Lord Tennyson, and I fully intended to read some poetry, but I thought, oh, I'll read the introduction first, and I couldn't. I didn't get through the introduction, so I'm gonna try to finish the introduction. I'm gonna try to get to one of these stories and some poetry, some Tennyson poetry, hopefully, so that we can chat about that a little bit on here. But yeah, so these are the books that have been staring at me, and like I said, I went through and figured out how many pages I would need to finish Great Expectations and Dr. Thorne by the end of the month, and it was pretty daunting. It was pretty rough. So I'm really gonna have to take it up a notch, hopefully this weekend. And we'll see. Hopefully, like I said, my reading will be a little more focused going forward. I also foolishly agreed to watch a horror film with Jason tonight. He really loves watching horror movies, and it's just not my thing. All right, BookTube, let me know how October is going for you so far down below in the comment section. Again, love hearing from you. Thank you guys so much for watching. And BookTube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I will be back with another bookish video soon. Bye.